Alright guys, so hello and welcome back to, welcome back to the Steam Room, and welcome to the first of hopefully many Assetto Corsa videos. Obviously there's, I think there's two up on the channel at the moment without commentary. That was just sort of a test to sort of see where the audience was with those. They've actually done quite well, so this sort of inspired me to go on and do this. So we're currently doing an online race, 24 drivers. At the Nürburgring GP track, and we're in a Lamborghini Huracan GT3. Of all the cars that were available, I think there was like Audi R8 GT3s, a few Mercedes, I know there were Skylines as well. The Huracan was the one I had the most experience with, but wasn't the best performing. So yeah, here we are lining up on the grid, 6 red lights. Away we go. Bit of a shaky start, the traction control kicking in nicely. We managed to make a position up to 15th already. We try and find some room down on the inside of the track, but there is none to be found. We try and sneak it up through this little pack here, forgetting we have to brake rather early for the first corner. We end up locking up slightly, thank God for the ABS. We try and go wide around the outside, we get tagged, spun, and that's it. We had to let everyone else through. Yeah. Race was over at that point. People are rage quitting everywhere. There are tracks everywhere on the track, on the grass. It was an absolute shambles. But yeah, we managed to get back on the track. We're now going up the inside of a McLaren. Managed to get that move done quite well, to be honest. So yeah, this track was the first time I've driven this track. This car as another player goes careering off the track. Yeah, I've not really driven the Nürburgring GP track. It's another one. Wow. Well, everyone is doing so well this game. But yeah, this track pretty good, to be honest. Where I've played a lot of F1, like throughout my life, like obviously since 2000, all of the tracks I only know the braking points for F1 cars, which is quite detrimental when I then jump into big sluggish GT3 cars. Another player there, we managed to get up to 15th, 14th there, down from 20. Well, what was 23rd at the time, I think that's 13th now as well. Yep, there we go. From 23rd in under a lap after getting tagged at the first corner. That was pretty lucky, to be honest, that all of those drivers went off. Another one goes wide, I think that was an R8 going there, going off the track slightly, going a bit too deep. So we now come into the final complex of the track. Car ahead is building a bit of a gap to us, I think that was a Skyline. But what can you do? Obviously the Huracan not the most powerful car that we had to play with, but yeah, as we brake late into the final chicane, the second chicane actually, yeah, I didn't realise this, but turns out there's two, and we use the one that the F1 doesn't use, so that sort of allowed me to open up the throttle a bit better and carry a bit more speed through there. But we come to the end of the first lap, 2 minutes 18, 12 out of 21st, and yep, now we are lap 2 of 5. Braking a bit later for this corner now. We want to try and get around the outside of the Skyline. We don't quite manage to stick the move. He managed just to slot back in. Those Skylines have an incredible grip. I mean, look at the size of that rear wing. There's no way we're going to be able to compete with that downforce stabilising that car. But yeah, this corner I did find to be a bit tricky, as we managed to get around the outside of the Skyline, try and poke our nose up inside the McLaren. Quite work. Skyline gets the grip on the exit and takes us again. We just cannot seem to get past this Skyline. But yeah, now we're coming into the corner where another car went careering off. Is there anyone there? No, everyone's managed to do it clean this lap. But yeah, now we're just trying to keep right at the back of the Skyline. He's making a move up on the McLaren. Does he get the move done? He's taking a very close line into that hairpin. I think. He forces the McLaren wide, he gets the move done. We try and stick our nose up there as well while he's taking advantage of the McLaren going wide. Doesn't quite work. We are not a very good racing driver. But yeah, now we're coming through the Michael Schumacher S. This corner was a bit tricky. I could never find the perfect line into the first curve of that chicane. As you saw me sort of cutting the track there on the second half of it, going very deep there into that corner. Managed to keep the car behind us, thank God. We don't really want to be losing any more positions. But yeah, now we're opening up the throttle, taking this corner coming up ahead, like taking this corner flat out is just the best feeling, especially with the force feedback, the engine just blaring in your face. We brake at the 100-metre board there, take a very wide line into the chicane, nearly lose the back end. We are running with high throttle diff, so there was a lot of oversteer. I really sort of regretted sort of toggling that, really, to be honest. That probably wasn't the best idea, really. But yeah, now we're starting the third lap. Only short races, these online ones, as a new player joins us from the pit lane. Yeah, only short races. Makes sense, to be fair. I mean, not everyone has the time to sort of sit and knock out a full Grand Prix. I mean, there was a 20-minute qualifying session before this. Yeah, so sort of what I did was I sort of tested the water a bit. I think this was my second race as well. It might have been. So I tested the water a bit. Found a good setup, found how much fuel I needed for the race. As you can see, we were running with the absolute bare minimum. I think we was running with 5.3 laps of fuel in the car. So we really had to sort of keep on top of that, making sure we didn't bung the gears down too far. Another car there going wide. Oh, it's a Skyline. He's tagged the McLaren. The Skyline there ahead of us is 3. We're past that Skyline. We're now behind the McLaren up in 11th. I'll tell you what, this race was probably the best race I've ever had on Assetto Corsa, because usually I sort of dither about as we go rather wide there into that hairpin. And there we go, the R8 gets straight through us, and now we're back down to 12. But yeah, this Grand Prix, a lot of fun. Usually I sort of dither about on a server that drives 458 GT2s around Mugello. That server's a lot of fun. I'll try and get on there and do a race on there, because I really do well on that track. Got quite used to the car and the track and everything, really. I've got a good setup, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, I have to give it to them. The Assetto Corsa community is very fair when it comes to racing. Like, there's the only real racing game I played online was, I think, F1 2013, because it had the best of the worst multiplayer of that series. But yeah, so that community, as you're probably well aware if you watch the odd racing video or if you play online yourself, dive bomb the first corner, send everyone off, and then it's just an absolute shit show to the end of the race. You know, while people were going off here and there, they were polite, they waited for the cars to filter past them so they could get back on the track safely without tagging anyone. Yeah, very fair racing. If they have to leave you the room, they will leave you the room, with the exception being obviously that car in the first corner. But I don't know whether we turned into them or not. Very sort of, I couldn't really say, to be honest with you. It was a very fast collision. We've got a car stopped on track there. That's one of the R8s. Does that bump us up a position? No, it doesn't. So we're still stuck in 13th now. Stuck behind this R8. We decide to follow his line wherever he goes on the track for some reason. Taking the meaning of slipstream to a whole new level there. But we've got a car now making the move up the inside of us. We absolutely just bump into him. We've gone off the track. That's it. We're stuck in the gravel. We try and whip the car around. We need to get back on the track as soon as possible. But as you can see, there's a lot of cars coming back through. So we are now just trying to think after this car. Yep, we absolutely bomb it onto the track. We're now down in 20th. We've lost 10 seconds from that spin, as you can see by the delta. And it's still going up. 11 seconds nearly. We've lost 11 seconds from that one spin. That absolutely did our racing. We're now 20th out of 23. That 4 out of 5, 2 racing laps to go. It was very sort of reminiscent of Malaysia, actually, to be fair. But yeah, now we started to nail the line through the Schumacher rest there, as you can see. So narrowly missing the apex mark on the first corner, but clipping the one on the second. We brake a bit late for this corner here. Go quite deep again, even. But we are making up time, look. Sort of delta now is down from 11 to 9.3 seconds. So we are getting there. The R8 in front of us has decided to pull over for some reason. That promotes us up to 20th, I think that was. But yeah, as you can see in the bottom of the screen there, you've got sort of all your basics really. You've got fuel, RPMs, gears, speed, laps, time, assists that are enabled on the car, position, and then we've got sort of my pedal and force feedback measuring bar things. The assist that I run on this game, just to sort of clarify, the racing line shouldn't normally be on. That is my bad. The computer sort of shit the bed and I had to re-synchronise this game, and it sort of re-enabled itself somehow. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But yeah, so that'll be off for the next video, and Oh, we're up into 16th now. Look at that. I think a few drivers had to pit in. Oh, that's right. I think there was a massive crash sort of near the end of the 4th lap with some of the front runners. We've gone just careering down the straight away on the start-finish straight, and yeah, bumped us up to 16th, so that's not too shabby. But yeah, back to the assists. We run the ones that, like, we've sort of toggled the factory setting. So whatever assists are on the car when it comes out of the factory, those are what we run. That's sort of the best simulation, really, that you can get, I find. Especially where I drive, like, the F2002 a lot. You know, that obviously having traction control. Don't really want to have to keep toggling it here, there, and everywhere for different cars I'm driving. We go very deep there. We're up into 15th now somehow. I think another person may have dropped out of the race. We've got 2 cars behind us. I think that's a McLaren and a Skyline there, but we're just going to try and defend them as much as we can. We cock up the Schumacher S once again. As you can see, we're very low on fuel now. The steering wheel almost getting away from us. Someone's gone off after the corner ahead. We're going to try and capitalise on that. They've actually disconnected, so that bumps us up to 14th now. We're 1.3 seconds up on our fastest time, 1.4 seconds now. So we're really getting the job done this lap. As you can see, we're nigh on out of fuel. We're still absolutely bombing the car. I really did think I was going to run out of fuel at this point, and I would have to just coast the car back. Someone's gone off at the last chicane. That's it, 13th for us. Nope, we clatter into them somehow. I genuinely don't know what happened. I was just sort of shaking my head at this point in the race. I just wanted to get it done. But we're now up into 11th out of 17. I'll take that. Wee for celebration. That's the end of the Nürburgring Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video, like, subscribe, it would really help us out. Follow us on Twitter at @thesteamroom__. Follow us on Twitch. We will be doing some stuff with Twitch. We're just trying to sort of figure out what to do and how. But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed commentating over it. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. Peace out.